An MMO that respects your time. It sounds like a lie. Actually, it sounds like a sick joke. We've been conditioned to believe that for a world to be massive or social, it has to be a second job. You log in, you check your boxes, you grind for hundreds of hours just to reach the real game. We've accepted that the fun is gated behind wall of tedium designed by the board of directors who want to sell us level boosters. But what if the magic isn't the persistence? What if the magic is just the crowd? Low Drag Labs is betting that they can condense 100 hours of social friction into a 30-minute lunch break. They are trading the infinite grind for a session-based apocalypse. Let's look at the Minimo. Now, normally I'd see a low-poly indie MMO and I think asset flip or student project. Then I look at the names behind this game. You have John Seelan, design director of EVE Online, and Mike Hines, art lead of Cyan, the people who made Myst. These aren't just indie devs throwing spaghetti at the wall. They are the architects who build the most complex social economy in gaming history. And they are building Minimo to run on a toaster. Literally, the minimum specs are 8800 GT and 2 gigs of RAM. I haven't seen that GPU in the recommended spec sheet since I had hair. But that's not a lack of budget. That is a tactical choice. Because if you want 200 players to share screen, cast spells, and move at zero latency without melting your GPU, you have to prioritize the loops over textures. You have to build for density, not for screenshots. And honestly, in 2026, I'll take a snappy loop and high player count over cinematic graphics that makes the game run at 20 frames per second any day of the week. This is what I like to call sticks and dirt engineering at its finest. The premise of the game is kind of a paradox. You have 30 minutes, no travel time, no camping spawns for 6 hours while you watch Netflix, no month-long travel roads across the barren desert. You and 199 other strangers drop into a procedural world and just scramble. But here's the part that makes it an MMO and not just a lobby game. When you complete a quest, you aren't just leveling yourself. You're unlocking regions and bosses for the entire server in real time. Think about that. You're in the starting zone and suddenly a message pops up. The mountain pass is open, not because you hit level 10, but because a group of players you've never met just finished a ritual on the other side of the map. It is a race, a shared massive noisy race against the clock, and it's not just about killing mobs. The group has to vote on upgrades. Imagine 200 people trying to decide if the server needs more fire resistance or movement speed, while the world boss is actively eating the front line. I'm genuinely curious how the math holds up when the Zerg start voting, but the energy is exactly what I miss about the launch days of MMOs. Pure unrefined chaos where every person on screen is actually doing something. Let's talk about the masks. Minimo has over 50 planned classes, and they don't follow the solo is king rules that have ruined modern MMOs. In most games today, every class is a self-sufficient hero. You can heal yourself, you can tank for yourself, you can do DPS, which means you don't actually need anyone else. Minimo says no. You got your wizards and your hunters, sure. But then you have the chef. The chef doesn't have a sword. He has oven mitts and a literal stovetop. If the chef doesn't feed the guards run out of stamina and die. And if the guards can't protect the fishermen can gather the resources needed to keep the run alive. It is mandatory social interdependence. The modern games have traded this kind of friction for convenience. They gave us a group finders and teleports, and in the process, they killed the social soul of the genre. They turned us into a ghost, passing each other in the lobby. Minimo is trying to bring it back by making the boring roles the actual infrastructure of the world. If I'm a high-level wizard, I'm not looking for a healer. I'm looking for a guy who can cook a steak so I don't collapse mid-spell. It's a bold bet on human cooperation in an era where everyone just wants to be the main character, and I kinda love it. So when the 30 minutes are up, the world resets. You lose the map, you lose the level, but you keep the riches. This is the meta progression loop. This is how you unlock new masks, pets, and customize your guild space. But let's be real, the question isn't just, is it fun? The question is, does it have that one more run magic that keeps you coming back at 2 AM? Or is it just a massive noisy lobby with the MMO skin? Actually, I don't think that's the right question. The real question is, who else is actually trying to innovate in this genre? Most AAA studios are too scared to touch anything that isn't a theme park clone with the Battle Pass. They're building a safe games for market that is increasingly bored. A Low Drag Labs is taking massive risks on a technical and social experiment. They're betting that players actually want to be part of a crowd again. And in a genre that's been stagnant for a decade, that is an innovation bet I'm willing to take. Even if it's just a 30-minute race against the world boss, it's more honest than anything I've seen from an AAA publisher in years. So is Minimo the future? Who knows? It's too early to say. I am cautiously hopeful for the game. If they can make the chef feel as vital as the pyromancer in a 30-minute window, they've definitely solved one of the biggest burnout problems in MMOs. They've found a way to give us a scale we crave without the life drain we can't afford anymore. It is that MMO launch day energy every time we log in. I will be there for the April playtest to see if the Zerg actually works. Until then, you can wishlist the game on Steam and let me know in the comments. Would you play a 30-minute MMO? Or is the 200-hour grind too addictive to give up? Are we just addicts chasing the dragon that doesn't exist anymore? Let me know. If you found this video helpful, give it a like, subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.